Wonderful. Well, let's get started. And Valerie, I'd say let's welcome in people up to the point where we get to sort of like some of the theory. Um,
Perfect.
yeah,
Okay.
wonderful. So I'm Julia, and I'm here with my colleague Valerie, and we're going to be talking about how to let it go, how to move into more acceptance and a space of mourning with purpose in any of our life choices and transitions. Welcome, Anthony. I see your face there. And I've often been intrigued by this topic, not only because I love personal development work and I am diving deep into whatever is available, but I've often literally been told, Julia, you just need to let it go. Julia, you just need to move on. Julia, you just need to. And there's like this sense of the reaction inside my system is like this sense of rage, which is linked to my sense of helplessness. I don't know how to do that. I've never been taught how to do this. I've never been told or shared this magical formula that says, oh, that's what it means to let this go, which doesn't make me lose out or lose my dignity or lose my respect for myself, but it's just bringing a space of warmth and actual welcome to my own personal experience. And so I see this often enough, not like on a daily basis, but whenever there's like sort of this transition that can take me by surprise, or maybe a transition that I have been worried about or like predicting in my mind of how this is going to go. And I see this hitting my system as like, oh, I feel helpless because I don't know how to move through this transition. And so tonight we're going to be looking at one of the possible tools of moving through that transition with nonviolent communication, with a sense of this is what I can do to connect to my needs that are so important for me. And I'd just like to say hello to Tim. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you. Valerie, would you like to share a little bit of like what brings you here, who you are, what we're going to do tonight together?
So I'm Valerie, and I'm assisting. Is that the right word, Julia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I study with Spiralis, and I still study as an assistant. And I love NVC. I met NVC in my classroom. I'm a teacher, and I'm a entry teacher, and I hope that NVC will come into the classroom soon. And why am I here? I was listening to you, Julia, about like how many times I heard let it go. And when you said that, and you're like, but how? That's the question. And yeah. And even listening to you, it was like, yes, how? And even if we have the process, and I think because now it's in English and the process is in French, I didn't make the link. And now I do it, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is it. So that's why I'm here. I think we hear it so many times and we don't know how.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really glad you're here, and not only to support me, but to support the smooth running of this Zoom space together. Just to share a little bit about who is Spiralis, and what we do. So I have been in training with NVC through this company, Spiralis, for the last 5 years. And I've just kept going. Everything that they've put out, I've just been wanting to absorb and soak up. The company itself started with 2 NVC trainers who are married and decided to share NVC with the world. And they built a company, and they've been teaching NVC basics and intermediate and now certification level classes about NVC. So it's a real supported process in the journey in connecting to this new paradigm where we are truly connecting to what's important to us and taking that responsibility. And I've just seen that. Did I skip a little bit there, Valerie? Just want to be sure that I was seen.
Yes, just a little, but I heard everything.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to take a moment and shut down other things in my background so that we do not get cut off, or to reduce the risk that we get cut off, of course. Excellent. Well, I'd like to hear a little bit. I'd like to connect with all of you. Right now, you've heard a little bit about who's Valerie, who am I, what is this company, Spiralis, and just connect with your own understanding and level of NVC. So I'd like to use in Zoom the reactions that are available. If you're on your computer, this is in the bottom black bar. There's a button called reactions. I think it's in French, just if there's some French community members here, réaction. And you can use that as the buttons. If you're on a tablet or your phone, I think it's in, there's 3 buttons that offer you more options. So you can play along which way you would like. So I'd love to see on the screen, put your reaction up. If this is one of your first experiences, your first moments of hearing and learning about NVC, to put a thumbs up. So the icon of thumbs up, if this is one of your first experiences. Excellent. Maureen Anthony, welcome. And you may find yourself in more than one of these categories as I go through, so feel free to join in to any of these categories. So if you have already done, let's say, like an introductory course or a basics, or you've read Marshall's book, you've watched some of his videos, I'd love to see the heart emoji, if that's something that's part of your practice. Ooh, multiple. That's awesome. I'd like to welcome Melissa. I see that you're connected on your iPhone as well. Welcome to our community tonight. I'd love to see a laughing face, and I know there's many options of laughing faces if you've updated your version recently. If you've already taken courses, multiple courses, you've gone to an IIT, or you're doing coaching with NVC, if this is part of your practice, any happy face. Oh, less so. I feel like, Isabelle, you're part of that, the way I know you, yeah. And Bianca, awesome. And I'd love to see... Ça va, Isabelle? You're good?
J'ai pas d'option d'emoji. I only have thumbs up.
Okay, excellent. But I feel like you would have had the happy face if it was there, because I know you've done many courses in this, for sure. And I'd love to see any emoji or physical facial reaction, if you don't have emojis, for how are you feeling in this moment right now? What's present for you? How are you feeling? I see a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, multiple thumbs up, got the funny face, purple heart. Wonderful. Well, welcome. We're going to be, because we're moving into such for me, an important topic, I'd like to take a moment to welcome you, and also let's do some, like a tiny moment of grounding, of centering in our bodies, getting connected to ourselves, as we will be connecting through self-empathy processes to what's true and real for us. To start off, just with your eyes open and with whatever comfortable position you're in, I'd like to welcome every and all part of you that is present tonight. Welcome the parts of you that are exhausted and would really love to go to bed early. I welcome all the parts of you that have on an adrenaline high and are excited and extra energy to be here tonight. I welcome the parts of you that are skeptical and closed to hearing and learning new things. They are welcome. And I welcome all the parts of you that are overly open and growing bigger with every word that is spoken. I welcome all the parts of you that don't want to listen, that do want to listen. I welcome all the parts of you that that may have judgments for yourself and for others. I welcome all the parts of you that love yourself and love others. You are all welcome here. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or just lowering your gaze, taking a moment to connect to your breath, the inhalation and the exhalation, the motion of breath that exists in your body. Without judging or changing anything, simply connecting to the rhythm of your breath. And all while staying connected with the rhythm of your breath, I invite you to just gain a sense of what are the points of contact you have with your chair, or with the ground, or with the table in front of you. What are the points of contact that you experience with your environment? All while staying connected to your breath, I'd invite you to bring your attention and your awareness down into your feet. Maybe the soles of your feet are touching the ground. What does that feel like? And how can you even breathe more depth into that connection with your feet in the ground? And without judgment or expectation, to simply feel what that feels like, to connect to your feet, the soles of your feet, and where they are in connection with the ground. And the invitation is to come back into connection with your breath, the flow of your breath, without wanting to judge it or change it, simply connecting to how it is flowing naturally in this moment. And just connecting also to the muscles in your body, without changing anything or wanting it to be different. What's happening in the muscles of your body? Are there any certain points of tension? Are there any muscles that are relaxed? Just noticing what's present in your body. Now we're going to bring our awareness back to the flow of our breath. For 3 more breaths in silence together. And slowly bringing your awareness back to the world around you, your environment. Maybe slowly opening your eyes. Slowly bringing some movement back into your muscles. And if you would like to bring your awareness back to the screen, maybe having a look at who's there, connecting to the other people on their screens. And we'll start. Thank you. I'd love to hear a little bit from each of you of how are you arriving? How are you feeling in this moment? We're going to do what we call a check-in. And the purpose of the check-in is to have a moment that we can all arrive, have a moment that we all capture what's there for this person in this moment. And it gives also an opportunity to maybe talk about what's present, so that they can create more space for a sense of curiosity and a sense of discovery with what is going to happen tonight. So I'm going to name you each, and I'll have about like 30 seconds, up to 30 seconds, just to share what's there for you. What feelings are you experiencing? What needs are activated in your system? And I'd like to start with Andre.
I guess that's me. Well, I'm just relaxing after a day of work, so I guess I'm open to discovery. So that I guess is the best way to describe where I'm at right now.
Wonderful, thank you. Thanks, Andre. Elizabeth, how are you arriving?
I'm well, thank you. I'm actually arriving with a bit of a time difference. I'm located in Vancouver, so I'm actually a bit hungry and just settling into the rest of my evening. So I'm curious about the content that you have prepared for us today, and excited to see what it looks like.
Thank you. Welcome. Janik.
Hi. That's a tough question for me, because I'm always like, oh, how do I get in touch with how am I feeling? So I'm curious. I'm excited. I'm peaceful. And I trust the moment.
Thank you, Janik. Welcome.
Thank you.
Maureen.
Good evening. I'm sitting in my backyard, hence I'm a little bit darker than everybody else. The lighting is but not a lot of lighting back here. I'm really excited and curious to practice the language of nonviolent communication with this community that we have here tonight. I've read a lot about it, and I've thought about it a lot and written about it, but have rarely had the opportunity to speak and practice. This comes for me at the end of the day of self-care, where I actually took a mental health day and I went hiking in Gatineau Park. And that's really what I needed to do. So the timing for this, honestly, was perfect. There's a lot of demands on me right now, and I'm looking to be able to come from a place for my family and for others where I'm strong and centered and comfortable and feeling all of those things, Julia, that you welcomed in your introduction, all of those pieces, being able to recognize that all of those are with us all the time, and being able to show up both for myself and for others. So really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen. Welcome. Bianca.
Hi. It's interesting because as we were doing the breathing exercise, my 2-year-old started banging on the door, crying the whole time. So trying to give myself a little bit of empathy because now I'm feeling stressed. She stopped crying, but it lasted a good 5 minutes. So I'm trying to let it go.
I get the sense you're trying to let it go with as much warmth and caring for yourself and for her in this moment.
Yeah. It's interesting because I'm doing the parentalité workshop with Guillaume and Geneviève. So I'm really trying to just I could hear my husband using what we're learning, and it's interesting right now.
Yeah. To experience it live. Absolutely. Thank you, Bianca, and welcome.
Thank you.
Stephanie, welcome. We're just doing a check-in. If you arrive, I think you arrived during this moment. We're just doing a little check-in of how are you doing in this moment.
Yes, I find answering that very challenging. So with that said, I'm excited because this is definitely outside of my comfort zone. I was referred to this session through a common friend, and so I do know Tim on here. And we meet weekly, but our group is much smaller. So I'm excited for tonight's session. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you and welcome. Anthony.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Sometimes I get double muted. Yeah, so I'm, I guess I describe myself as curious and particularly eager as a newcomer to this community, eager to get started and to begin learning.
Awesome. Thank you and welcome. Tim. Yeah, you're good. Oh, I don't hear you though. Do others hear him? I don't think so.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Right.
I'm quite excited to be here. I have a high level of curiosity about the how-to, because to be quite honest, I mean, I've spent a lot of time considering the theoretical aspect of it, or, you know, the things around NVC and a couple of other paradigms like the polyvagal stuff and IFS, those three dimensions, and they're sort of converging with the help of some of our group. They're helping me to have it converge. But one of the challenges is the practical implementation of this stuff. And Stephanie knows what I'm talking about, because I seem to be an outlier in terms of implementing this stuff, and it's very frustrating because I'm having NVC coming to me from all directions, you know, but from the family, from the friends and stuff like that. And I'm trying to propagate it too. So I'm trying to tell at least 2 friends every day. So, you know, they tell 2 friends and so on and so forth, like the shampoo commercial.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I get the sense, Tim, there's just such a love for what NVC brings, and you just want to be able to live it so with such vitality and practicality in it as well. Yeah. Welcome. Isabelle.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. I think I feel a little bit nervous because of the language. It's already challenging to practice NVC, but yeah, I'm also really excited to hear about the theory and practices around morning, and happy to see you, Julia, Valerie. It's been a while.
Happy to see you too. Welcome. And Anna. There we go.
I've been very excited about this from the moment I learned about it. I've known about NVC for a very long time through Sounds True. They have some of his works there. And as a parent, I was really interested in how to communicate properly with my children. And so I feel right now in my life, there's a lot of letting go. I'm the caregiver of my 2 elderly declining parents. And so there's that letting go, and letting go of my job because it kind of disappeared with COVID. So there's a lot of letting go that's happening, and redefinition of who I am. And within NVC, I'm excited. I listen to, and I speak to myself. I'm aware of my needs more. And there's a great excitement and curiosity in what's going to happen tonight and moving forward.
Thank you, Anna. Welcome. Did I miss anybody in our group? Excellent. Valerie, I'd love to hear from you. How are you doing in this moment? How are you arriving?
A little bit stressed because I have paperwork to, the deadline is today. So after that, I need to go and finish this. And I'm tired as well. And I'm really curious to hear and to know you more, all of you. And mourning, I think for me, it resonates with saying no. When I say no, for me, it's really hard because I don't want to mourn. Yeah.
Thank you, Valerie.
I see.
And I'm arriving in this actual particular moment. There's like a little excitation like in my heart. I feel my heart is like, it feels big. It feels big in my chest. And I'm just connected to my needs for like connection and contribution and a sense of well-being for myself and for those that I love. And I just really want to honor that and bring that to the forefront. So thank you. I'd love to dive in to where are we going, what tools are we using in getting to the how-to, what is the process that we're going to be looking at tonight. To start, I just want to do a very short intro or recap to what is the main tool that we use, particularly in nonviolent communication. So there's two elements that I want to present. There's the model, which has the 4 steps: observations, feelings, needs, and requests. And then there's where does that place itself? What are our options as we use this model? And what are we going to be focusing on tonight? So NVC, and I just want to be sure, can everybody read that? Or do I need to write bigger? You can pin my video if it helps. We're good? Excellent. I'll try and keep my writing as big as possible for my flip chart here. The model is the 4 steps. And what brings it, oh, thank you, Valerie. What brings it as a lively model is the fact that there's a purpose to each of the steps. It's not just, we are not just drones trying to download, okay, observations, feelings, needs, requests, observations, feelings, needs, requests. What are the observations, feelings, needs, and requests of the other? We are not robots. We are humans with so many nuances to what is really an observation and what is really our feeling. So I want to just connect to that and name that this is not a boring process, even though it just comes out as an acronym. Observations, feelings, needs, and requests. And I want to give important distinctions of what these are and what these are not. Because what we're going to be looking at is where is our points of mourning? What exactly are we mourning when we're saying, let's let go of this situation? And an important distinction I want to make here is that our needs are not our strategies. Our needs are not equivalent to how we want to bring this about in the world. Our needs are our energy of life. Our needs are everything that motivates us to move forward. As an energy, it wants to move. All of our needs for connection, our needs for interdependence, our needs for sexual expression, our needs for stimulation, our needs for mourning, is an energy in motion. It wants to move. How it can move can be the most creative possible. So this says strategies if it's not clear on the screen. There are 3 ways in which we can use the model. We use it when we're expressing authentically, in our authentic expression. When I see, when I hear, when I experience, I feel because I have a need for and would like to know what I can do with that, with you, with the other person, with myself. When we are expressing, when we are using the model to be in expression, we are fully in the moment of expression. My expression is talking about me. And in a dialogue, because we're moving towards connection, the dance of dialogue, and I'm drawing sort of like a sideways figure 8, what we're looking for is when I'm in expression, I'm fully here and I'm centered on what is my need, what is my energy of life that I'm trying to express and affirm and have come to life. And when I'm in the moment of another movement, which is empathic listening, I am fully with the observations, the feelings, and the needs of the other. What is alive for them? If ever I'm coming back to myself in terms of my interpretations or my judgments or, yeah, but they're just saying that because, which is a judgment, which is my thoughts, I'm not in empathic listening, I'm with me. So I want to really distinguish. There's the full movement towards the other person, and then there's in empathic listening, and then there's the full movement towards myself with authentic expression. The heart of this, the foundation of what we experience in NVC is our self-empathy. It's the foundation of what we want to be able to experience and know within ourselves. I heard a couple of you express, oh, this is a tough question to know what's there for me in this moment. For sure it's a tough question. We've never been taught to connect to ourselves or been asked, how are you doing sincerely, without the expectation that it's just going to be, oh, I'm fine. Everything's good. To truly connect to what's there, it takes practice. It takes a sense of knowledge, even about a language of what are my feelings and what are my needs. And so I don't want to make this it's not a huge deal in the sense of, oh, it's super hard to get there. It's a big deal because it's talking about what's so important and vulnerable and true about ourselves. These are two different big deals that I want to distinguish. What we're going to be learning about tonight and focusing on tonight is our self-empathy process. One means of connecting to ourselves through the process of mourning, of choosing what we're doing. And we're going to be focusing on our needs. And one element that I know is very clear and very important in this process and in any one of these three movements is to remember that everything we do, everything we say, is an attempt to nourish needs. Even my judgments, my jackals, my thoughts, my opinions are shared, are expressed in efforts of nourishing needs. Sometimes, as it comes out in a jackal of, Valerie, you're the worst person ever. How could you not have shown up on time tonight? That's my judgment. I'm talking about a need. And I'm attempting to meet this need in a really awkward and likely disconnecting way. Versus, Valerie, when I see that you arrived at 6:32 instead of 6:30, as we had said, I have a feeling of, I feel stressed. I have a need for predictability. And I'd like to know if next time that you will be later than the time agreed, would you be willing to send me a text message? Something like this. My need for predictability is present in this particular situation, which is not a true situation. It was just one that I thought of in the moment. But often arrives for me when someone is late and someone doesn't arrive. It's like, I just have a need for predictability. I need to know that people are going to do what they say they're going to do, or maybe a need for coherence. But it's not my judgment that's wrong or bad or stupid. It's just my judgment that's trying to say, I need to meet my needs for predictability. So I want to be able to even translate what's happening within myself. So this premise, this This heartbeat of NVC, which is connected to our needs, is all that we do and say, all that we make our choices are based on our needs, temptation or attempts to meet our needs. Sometimes our needs are met, and sometimes they're not, which makes our differentiation between strategies versus needs all that much more important. Do we have any questions about this before I move on to the next little bit? And anything is welcome. All curiosities, all frustrations, disappointments, pleasures are open, if there are any questions. We're good? And at any moment, if there are questions, feel free to raise your hand either physically, and I'll try and pay attention to that. If not, Valerie will also signal that to me, or by raising the electronic hand button. What we are connecting to when we're connecting to nonviolent communication as not only a tool, but a way of life, is the vision of Marshall Rosenberg, of how he saw this tool as a possibility to open up to more, and more of our consciousness, more of our awareness, more of our social engagement and social justice in the world. And I have a colleague who studied very closely with Marshall. I think he went to 3 IITs with Marshall. He loves this man to bits. And his ways, this is Guillaume, who describes NVC as a way to offer us a language that allows us to experience our true nature. A true nature of doing things for each other and receiving from one another through a true enthusiasm of the heart. And I'm going to repeat that again. NVC offers us a language that allows us to experience our true nature. A true nature of doing things for each other and receiving from one another with a true sense of enthusiasm of the heart. We're going to be connecting to what is important to us in our hearts as we connect to the process of how to mourn what we are attempting to do as we meet needs. And maybe it doesn't work out well, or maybe we have to choose other things. How do we find fluidity and meaning in this practice? And that's something that we're definitely going to be looking at just right here. Any questions other than that so far? Perfect. As we move into understanding what is mourning, I would love to just normalize a few things here. I would love for us to normalize and humanize that making decisions is not necessarily easy. All of our decisions require some sort of mourning. When we choose something, we are inherently not choosing another thing. There is a mourning. Sometimes that mourning, super easy. It's clear to me that I am going to go towards certification in NVC. Leaving my job, leaving my other career, not even a big deal because I'm so in love with this new choice. There's still a mourning, but it's maybe minuscule in comparison to this. And other times, it is extremely difficult for me to choose maybe to leave this job or to stay in this job because the costs, what I have to leave behind and say no to are high, are so important to me also. So it's not one versus the other, they're both there. It's one and the other. I also want to normalize that how we make decisions is multifactorial, multisensorial. It implicates many people sometimes. And how we make that decision, we want to be sure, and I'm sure there's an element of we want to still belong with our important people in our world. We want to still belong to the world. We want to still have love circulating around us. So when it puts those things at risk, there's like a lot of anxiety that comes up. And so I just want to normalize that that's a part of the process as well, of acknowledging all of these things are there. I want to normalize that mourning is a necessary part of life. And yet, so many of us, maybe even the majority of us, have never learned how, have never been demonstrated how. We've not had the experience of how this could make sense and bring meaning into our world. Mourning is often associated with simply loss. Mourning is associated with I lose out. Mourning is associated with the death of something or someone. And it can include so much more. And we're going to look at that as well. Another thing that's I also want to normalize is that nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants to lose out. Nobody wants to let go with the idea that we're going to lose dignity or we're going to lose respect for ourselves. We're going to lose out somehow. Letting go is also losing out. And so I want to normalize that process, it doesn't have to always go in that direction. We can choose with consciousness what we want to do. Eckhart Tolle, who is a big philosopher and Buddhist teacher and Zen philosopher, many things, he's written extensively about the fact that we always have 3 choices. And any one of these 3 choices will bring us into a space of consciousness and will bring us what it is that we truly want if we're aware of what it is that we have to let go of in order to achieve that. And it's not that, oh, there are absolutely no other choices in life, but these are the 3 choices that he presents. And I'm putting it into the eye of, with a lens of NVC, the lens of all that we do, all that we say is in terms of meeting needs. I'm bringing that lens into it. We are always in our responsibility. We are always in our power when we are choosing one of these 3 choices. The first choice, in terms of letting go, is choosing acceptance. Choosing the meaning of. This is the first one, acceptance. When we choose acceptance, it means we're moving into a space where we're letting go of the rightness and wrongness of the situation. We're letting go of having all the answers. We're letting go of any obligations or expectations, fault or blame upon ourselves or upon others. We are letting go of trying to change the other person. We are letting go of trying to twist and mold ourselves into a mold that does not fit. And we are letting go of any project or any action that means either the other or myself has to change in a way that doesn't make sense. In acceptance, this choice of finding meaning and acceptance also means we're letting go of our bitterness and hatred that we all have. We're not letting it go simply because someone said, well, you just need to let that go. You need to let your bitterness go, Julia. You need to let that hatred go. Just love everybody. We're doing it with meaning. We're finding what makes sense for us as we let go of these important things. As we're letting go, we're welcoming in and bringing love into what exists here and now without wanting to change it, in order to love it. We're simply being with and saying, this is what I am okay with being with because it meets certain needs of mine. I have an example of how an important moment that I chose acceptance. I've left my family's religion and moved out of that sphere, which meant that I'm no longer having the same faith, the shared same faith, no longer praying with my family, no longer participating in certain activities. And my sister, I have 2 nephews and 1 niece with this sister. My sister asked that I no longer see her kids without her present, which was a big shift for me in my relationship with them, because oftentimes I would be a babysitter or I would be, spending weekends with them as their parents went off to do whatever. And, yes, it was a shock to my system, and I welcomed that. This was a big process of self-empathy for me. But right now, I exist and work with my sister of welcoming that. I am in full acceptance that when I want to spend time with the kids, it means that my sister or my brother-in-law will be present, either in the room or in the house. And what I learned in that process, and it wasn't just from one day to the next, I will say that this process was an 8-month-long, if not longer, process of coming into, I will still choose to see her kids with this agreement that we have. I will not take it personally that she stays in the room or asks me to come with her to the kitchen if she happens to leave the room. And I will not twist myself in knots trying to please her in order to see the kids. I'm in full acceptance that my sister, for the sake of security and spiritual wellness for her kids, has chosen this as one of the strategies. And I have chosen to say yes to that strategy. So that is choice 1 that we always have. This choice 1 could also be as easy as, it's raining outside. I just simply need to accept the fact that it's raining outside. And so I'm going to put my raincoat on and take an umbrella so that I can still enjoy the day because I had a plan to go for a walk. All of our choices come with, we're not choosing one thing, and therefore we are choosing another. The second choice that we always have is to choose to change our situation. Put energy and actions into modifying something that would meet our needs better. This means we are letting go of our fear of bothering others or our fear of hurting others as we ask and negotiate changes and shifts in relationships or situations. We're letting go of our discouragement or sense of helplessness or sense of defeat as we move into situations that we feel we can engage and bring our energy. We're letting go of waiting for someone else to change first, or for someone else to make the first move, or to take the first step. We're letting go of that and say, I am willing to bring my energy. This is what makes sense for me. And we're letting go of our incapacity or our thought sense, our opinion of ourselves that says, I am incapable of making changes. And we're bringing just different choices. What we're welcoming in return and bringing our love to is a sense of vitality and energy as a desire for change. We are then fiercely and bravely loving our requests and steps to move forward. My example from this is I wanted more recognition in my workplace. I work with Spiralis and we teach NVC, we live NVC, we live it amongst each other, no S. And I wanted to be sure, like I was missing a sense of like recognition that was fully there, like a sense of positive recognition and a sense of celebration in our workplace. So I asked that after every training, after every workshop that we give, we often do debriefs together of what went well, what didn't go well, et cetera, what do we need to change, what do we need to focus on. We give a lot of feedback. And I said, I want to start with celebrations. I want 2 rounds of everybody naming a celebration of themselves, of the group, of the training itself, of whatever it is. I wanted giraffe juice to circulate through this place so that my need for recognition could be met. It took 3 months and 4 very clear requests for it to be clear this is what I wanted. And it wasn't just, oh, I want to be recognized because I want my confidence to be, it was like, no, we need this, like for the collective good of our organization. And now I'm seeing the benefits of it, of being willing to put that energy into changing an element of a culture that exists already. And this meets my needs for celebration. It meets my needs for confidence. It meets my needs for my own understanding of the world and our situations. That's our second choice. We can always choose to put energy in to try and change what is happening in the relationship or the situation in order so that we can meet our needs more effectively and more collaboratively. Our third choice is to choose to stop or diminish altogether. Stop a relationship or diminish contact with that relationship, stop the situation or diminish our interaction with that within that situation or context. Here, we're letting go of the person and the situation altogether. Every person, every situation is a strategy to meet needs. Our jobs, our relationships, are strategies to meet needs. We are letting go of our strategies that do not contribute to our needs in ways that are effective and collaborative, in ways that we can make sense of. Here, we're also letting go of hoping for the other to change, hoping endlessly and hopelessly that the other will change. We're letting go of staying small and fitting into a picture that no longer can contain what we know as true about ourselves and about others. We're moving consciously into a bigger space. And we're letting go of our human limitations, our expectations on human capacities. We're just kind of trying to rehumanize people, even as we let go or diminish our contact with them. What we're doing here is we're welcoming in and we're bringing more love to our innate humanity, our human limits, our sense of love for ourselves and for others. My example here is I left my previous job, which paid double that I have ever made, had so much financial security, and brought me a lot of meaning. I loved doing what I was doing. I was a project manager at a family foundation. I was directly involved with who gets money for great projects and who doesn't, and who can I help and assist in bringing those projects to fruition. And little by little, I noticed that no money was going to a community that was near and dear to my heart. It was just everything I brought was said no to. And so it started losing a sense of coherence and integrity. So much so that despite it bringing so many wonderful things to my life, it was not enough integrity. And so I left that job. I left my job for nothing. I had no work at that moment, but there was enough there to say, I need to take care of my needs for integrity and for coherence in more effective and collaborative ways. Shall we try this all together? And so far, does anybody have any questions, any comments, any preoccupations, any aha moments, any celebrations? Perfect. I'd love to see just a little interaction with you. Can you put your hand up? Thumbs up if you're like, okay, I'm still fully with you. Here if like, oh, I'm starting to get tired and I'm about to go to sleep. Here if you're like, yeah, I'm about to leave the meeting altogether. Where are you guys at? Awesome. Thank you. Just meets my need for like collaboration and connection with you. Thank you. We're going to do this process all together, all at the same time. And I'm going to give you the steps of the process. So what I would love for you to do is to do it live on your own side with me. And it starts with naming a situation or determining a situation, naming a situation to yourself that you do something that you don't actually like doing. For example, housework. I do housework and I hate doing housework. It could be, for me tonight, and I have been avoiding this all day, is putting the garbage bins out at the end of the road because I don't want to go outside and I don't think about that side of my house. Whatever it is, it could be I correct my kids' homework every night and I don't enjoy doing that. Something that you do and that you don't enjoy. Valerie, do you have any examples?
Cleaning the house. My papers.
Your paperwork?
Organize my papers. and drying the dishes. But which one I gave up?
Yeah.
I don't do it.
Just don't do it anymore. Love it. Love it. Is there anybody who does not have something? Perfect. So that just confirms that we are all human and that we all do something sometimes that we do not enjoy. I would invite you just there to connect with all the language around why you do it. You should do it. You have to do it. This is what adults do. My brother-in-law said I had to do it. My mother said I had to do it. My kid needs me to do this. Whatever voices are coming, this is why you're doing it. But it's not the whole reason. It's like the surface reason of why you're doing it. So right there, as you connect to all these, I should, I must, I have to, I don't have any other choice, I'd love for you to connect to the part of you that hates doing this, that does not enjoy doing what you are doing. And go ahead and listen to all the judgments, the opinions on yourself, on others. Here we're connecting to our jackal world, our insults, our complaints, our resentments, our annoyances. It's like house cleaning is simply the worst. It's a statement that I declare is true. This is not we're not looking for observations here. We're going into all our interpretations, all our evaluations. It is the worst. We're bitching it out here. Why? Because we want to connect to the truth. We want to connect to the part of us that does not want to continue doing this. Not because we're going to stop necessarily, but because we want to come to a place to make a choice. One of these three choices that would make sense. So stick with this annoyance, the bitching, the judgments, the grievances. Like if you were, at a party and someone's like, "Hey, how's it going with your new home?" And you're like, "I'm just going to list off everything that's going really shitty." This is where we're at with this, okay? And right there, are we all doing this? Are we all there with me? Perfect. As you're doing this, your body is experiencing some feelings because you're a human being. Your body is experiencing something. Where is it in your body? Where's the tension? Where's the crookedness? Where's the I just want to curl into a ball and be in a fetal position sort of as we connect to this truth of the voice that says this is the worst. I hate this. I don't ever want to do this again. Where is it in your body? What's happening? And you could close your eyes if that's even easier. We're connecting to our physical sensations to find out how is it that my body is feeling and reacting to this. I hate it. It's all in my chest. It's like crumpled in. Like I feel pressure on my chest. I'm stressed. Okay, I'm stressed. Or I just have all the back of my neck is like up in my throat. What is that feeling? Oh, it's like just terrible discomfort and frustration. As you connect to that, what we know is that all of our bodily sensations, all of our emotions are sharing information to us, are indicating to us that we have a need that is present. Our uncomfortable feelings are pointing to needs that go unmet. We often draw an arrow here. My feelings indicate my needs. What needs are going unmet? What needs are not met in doing this action, saying what you should be saying, doing what you should be doing? What needs go unmet as you do that? If I'm doing housework, my need for pleasure is out the window. Or if I'm buying my nieces and nephews birthday gifts that I think they don't need, my need for coherence goes out the window. What needs are going unmet? This is what we're hearing from our jackals, from our thoughts, from our judgments, from our grievances. It just means we have needs that are going unmet. And what I'd like for us to do, we're going to split you into 2 groups. So you're going to head off into breakout rooms. That's the word I was looking for. And you're going to share what it is, what needs are there that are unmet, using what we call, I'm going to use the term that we call it cyclotronic. So it's like a round table sharing of what is there. So the sentence, can you put the sentence in the chat for everyone, Valerie? Each person, in going around, we usually do this in a circle if we're together, but go around your screen. So one person shares one at a time, and you're going to continue sharing of the question is, the situation is, and you're going to name your opinion, name your grievance, name your annoyance, and my need for whatever need is going unmet is going unmet. We are bringing empathy to our unmet needs. We are identifying what needs are going unmet. We're going to do a little example, Valerie and I. And we'll do 2 each, if that works. So when I'm not speaking, I'm not sharing my experience, I'm listening to Valerie, and then vice versa. So when we're not sharing our own personal sentence, we're in a space of presence, we're in a space of acceptance and welcome for whatever the others are sharing. And I'll start. The situation is literally the most overwhelming I have ever experienced. And I literally hate all my colleagues when I have to answer every single email that comes into my inbox. And my need for respecting my own limits is going unmet. Valerie.
Cleaning the house is a waste of time. It takes too much energy, and my need for pleasure is unmet.
I don't want to buy gifts for my nieces and nephews that they don't need. I think it's just like they're ungrateful and selfish. My need for equity is going unmet.
Organizing my papers on my desk is annoying. I hate that. And my needs for simplicity, lightness are unmet.
Thank you. And you're going to keep going. We're going to give you 5 minutes per group. Even if you don't have everything written down, it's all good. You're going to experience it in the live moment. Just starting with, okay, so this situation is, or I feel disgusting, and my need for whatever the need is there is unmet. And each person is going to go around, and you might do 3 or 4 rounds in the 5 minutes. So we'll bring you back in 5 minutes. Are there any questions before we send you off? We're good? Perfect. If ever you get stuck in your groups, there's always the question mark icon that you can press, and we can come to your group. So you're off for 5 minutes, please. All right, welcome back, everybody.
Okay.
Just so you know, your microphones are unmuted as you come back, just as a little note if you'd like to remute yourselves. And just to take a little moment, a deep breath of connecting with ourselves after having named what needs go unmet for you, and also after having heard what needs go unmet for others as we make our choices in life. What's your rhythm of your breath feel like and look like right now? And if you'd like to come back to the screen, I'd invite you to do so. I'd like for you to take a moment with what you connected with and write out the phrase, the sentence, no wonder I feel so, and write the feeling that's there for you. I really need, and name one of these unmet needs. No wonder I feel so discouraged. I really need equity. I'm no longer talking about the situation of not buying Christmas, birthday gifts for my nieces and nephews. I'm talking about my feeling and my need that is alive for me as I connect to this thing that I don't enjoy doing. No wonder I feel discouraged. I really need equity. What's there for you? No wonder I feel I really need. Just to take a moment to write that out. What's alive for you? The invitation here is to just go with what's alive. There's no right or wrong answer. Your needs and feelings are never right, they're never wrong. They are just what they are. And in this moment, as we connect to no wonder I feel because I really need, we're in a moment of self-empathy. We're in the act of self-empathy. We're also in the action of mourning. We're naming what needs have been unmet. Maybe it seems banal or almost like insignificant, particularly if it's just housework, or it's just this. There's no just about it. No matter how small or how large, this is part of the process of mourning. Mourning the unmet needs. Mourning situations that do not nourish our needs. Mourning for our dreams that are no longer possible as we connect to that need. We're moving beyond the situation and connecting to the energy of life which wants to move. We are mourning. So I'd invite you to stand up if it's accessible for you, and to place yourself with your feet solidly on the ground. And if you'd like to have your paper in front of you, because we're going to say this sentence out loud, just in your own homes, in your own space. No need to unmute yourselves. But the invitation is to speak it out loud in a posture of dignity and respect, whatever that looks like for you. You can hold your heart, you can hold your belly, you can put your hands in prayer position, you can stand in mountain pose, whatever position you would like to hold to honor this need that goes unmet. And I'm going to invite you at your own pace to speak your sentence. No wonder I feel I really need. I'm going to let you have that space right now. And maybe you can say it more than once, more than twice. Staying with whatever sensations come up, knowing that this is a moment we are honoring this need that happens to go unmet in this moment, in this situation. If you've completed your process, you can even just give yourself a little thank you, and we'll come back to our screen. I named before that this is simply one way of mourning. And the invitation is to find all the ways that make sense for you of how you can honor dreams that go unmet, how you can honor needs that go unsatisfied, how you can honor the loss of people, situations, strategies that we so loved, and how you can also honor even strongly held beliefs about what is right and what is wrong and how you want to be respected in this world. We're letting go of specific strategies as we honor needs that we can choose to meet in different ways. We're going to continue with our situation. I'd love for you to reconnect back with doing something that you do, but that you do not enjoy doing. And I'm going to continue with my buying my nieces and nephews birthday gifts. And I want to connect to the humanity and the good, very good reason that I do that. I'm also attempting to meet needs in buying my nieces and nephews their birthday gifts. So I'd like you to answer and I'll put it in the chat for everybody, and you can write it down as well. And I choose to, whatever it is you choose, because sorry, I'm looking for the English word. I hold wholeheartedly my need for. And I choose to buy my nieces and nephews birthday gifts, or I have chosen to buy my nieces and nephews birthday gifts, because I hold wholeheartedly my need for caring. So connecting to the very good reasons that you do what you do. The part that hates it, the part that is just like, this is the worst, we've done that morning. We're now trying to make sense of our actions so that we can become more humanly connected with ourselves. In this moment, you have two important needs that are there and activated every time that we choose to do something. And particularly when we choose to do something that we don't enjoy. One, my need for equity, and also my need for caring. You also have needs. You have your needs for whatever it is you've discovered that you don't like, needs that go unmet. And you also have your attempts at meeting certain needs that are there. It's at this point that you have your three choices. You can choose to accept and not want to change anything in the situation. You can choose to try and change something in the situation. Or you can choose to fully stop or diminish what it is that you're doing in the situation. For me, so here are my choices. I can choose to fully accept that this is part of the culture of my family, that we purchase birthday gifts for each other. And I will continue to do that with meaning and sincerity. Or I can choose to try and change the situation. Maybe say, hey, listen, every 5th birthday I'll buy a gift because it just kind of makes sense for me. Or do you want to give me a list of things that they actually really need, that you maybe can't find, or something unique? Or maybe I'll just buy Christmas gifts and we'll negotiate around that. There's a negotiation in trying to change the situation. Or I can choose to fully stop, which is what I chose to do. I chose to fully stop giving birthday gifts for my nieces and nephews, which allowed me to tap into the spontaneity of when I see something that I'm like, oh, this reminds me so much of my nephew Luke. I'll buy it for him, or I'll think of him, and that'll be enough. Or I'll buy it for him spontaneously, nowhere near his birthday, and then the next time I see him, I'll give it to him. So I've already agreed, I'm not going to give it at his birthday. This doesn't make sense to me. There's not enough meaning in it for me. So I'm choosing to stop doing it altogether. Where is your choice taking you in your situations? And I'd like to hear maybe one or two people, what choice sort of resonates the most for you in your situation? I get the sense, and there's no like right or wrong answer, and there's no obligation to share either. It was just an opportunity, if you'd like to, what kind of makes sense for you, or what do you have the inkling idea that could make sense for you? Yeah, Bianca.
I might be doing this all wrong because it's difficult. So I'll try. So I'm going to say, no wonder I feel so tired.
Mm-hmm.
I really need time for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I choose to take one day a month because I hold wholeheartedly my need for du ressourcement.
Mm-hmm.
So
resourcing. Mm-hmm.
Resourcing.
Nourishment.
And just nourishment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I get the sense it just made sense for you to move towards, okay, I'm going to find a strategy to try and change the situation and move forward with that and see, will this meet my need or not, to be experienced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Right.
Yeah. Would anybody else like to share sort of what they've discovered or anywhere along the process as well? Stephanie. Yeah.
So I guess it's a question that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about the feeling, I'm going to label it as negative. We feel a negative reaction in our body because of an unmet need.
Yeah.
So we're connecting with that to mourn. And then on the flip side, we're connecting with a need when we feel, because we feel good. But could it be that we're still choosing to do that action because we want to still meet that unmet need? Wait, I'm not expressing this properly.
Keep going. We're going to get there. Don't worry. We're going to get there. Yeah.
So I'll start from the beginning again. So there's an action that we do.
Yeah.
We don't like doing it. We feel negative about it because it's an unmet need.
Yeah.
If we're looking at the same action, there must be a positive need if we feel positive about it because we're still choosing to do it. But could it be that we're chasing the unmet need and feel positive about it?
It could be that. I get the sense there's a little nuance I want to add. So we do have this unmet need. And everything we do and everything we say is attempts to meet needs. Maybe it's effective, maybe it's not so much. But maybe we still want to do the action in the acceptance. I feel like we're pointing more towards like accepting that I will continue to do that because this need is going met. I have little, maybe a small amount of joy or a big amount of joy in doing this activity. I can find meaning in that. But I'm not just going to leave this need going unmet and creating like bitterness or some sort of like holding out in my heart. I'm going to find other ways to meet this need that is going unmet as I do this. So let's say it's my need for pleasure because I'm doing housework and I hate doing housework. Okay, I'm going to still do the housework because it makes sense for me to have an environment that is clean, that it has order in it, and that this is how I want to choose to meet my need. But I'm not going to leave my need for pleasure out in the dark. I'm going to mourn that this is not the strategy for my pleasure, and I'm going to find 5, 10, a million different ways of nourishing my need for pleasure. So that my unmet needs, which is when we're mourning, there are unmet needs. How can we, when we're ready, choose to open up to other possibilities? Because we're not mourning the need itself. Our energy of life exists always. We're mourning the strategy of how I was trying to meet that need. Does that clarify it at all for you, Stephanie?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up, because it allowed me to also bring this important nuance of we're not just leaving one or the other, or we're not just choosing one of these needs as we move forward to either acceptance or trying to change the situation or leaving altogether the situation. We're just choosing how to meet that need otherwise. Same thing. If I choose to stop buying birthday gifts for my nieces and nephews, it doesn't change that my level of caring that I would like to have in that relationship. I'm going to change my strategy of how to do it. And I'm choosing my need for equity in stopping. By stopping to buy birthday gifts. So either way, we are just simply opening up to other possibilities because we've fully connected with our unmet need and we've been through the process of mourning. I'm noticing the time, and I'm really wanting to honor your time. So is it okay that we go till 8:35, Eastern time, which means we'll go an extra 5 minutes than planned. If you do need to leave, please feel free to take care of your needs and respect your own limits. What I'd like for us to close with is a sense of how do we let go? Now that we have a means of connecting to what we are mourning, my hope and my intention was to bring awareness to letting go means we're connecting to what needs go unmet, as well as what needs are met, and making conscious choices of either accepting fully and completely, either choosing to create change and engage in different ways, or fully leaving or diminishing your contact with that person or the situation. I'd love to hear your voices one more time as we close, in maybe 1 or 2 or 3 words that are present for you after your experience tonight. Just before we do the circle, I'd love Valerie's going to put in the chat for everybody just my email if ever you have feedback for me from tonight. What was your experience like? Or if you'd like to connect with me and find out more about other opportunities around NVC or practice group support or coaching, whatever it is that you'd like, that'll be my email. And also how to connect to the website of Spiralis in English. You are more than welcome to take this information and share it amongst your friends and use it for yourself. So 1, 2, or 3 words to share in closing. And I'll go with Isabel first. What's there for you as you leave tonight?
I think a lot of things are there. I'm not quite sure what exactly. I think it made me realize that there was a lot of things I was going through right now in my life concerning mourning, professional level, financial level, and personal levels. So I realized that I'm like, a lot of times I'm in the position where I focus on like what's positive for me, but I'm not always taking also care of what is really there and like that needs like self-empathy and more attention. And yeah, I think I'm gonna need more empathy to look into those. So it was good, but it's also a lot of emotions that came up. So I need to take care of that. So
Thank
that's
you.
what there.
Thank you, Isabel.
Thanks.
Just in terms of time, I would invite, and this is nothing wrong. I really loved connecting with what was there for you, Isabel. Maybe just a shorter goodbye, check out kind of thing. Maureen, what's there for you?
Light bulb and digging deeper.
Yay, thank you. Stephanie.
I read what Maureen wrote on the chat, and that gave me warmth in my heart. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anna. Oh, your microphone, Anna.
I'm feeling hopeful, where maybe I wasn't as much. So hopeful. I feel equipped with the 3 steps of, I have a way of looking at it. And I'm excited to use the tools. So I'm going to be going through all of that again. And I feel opened. Yes. So thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Andre.
I'm trying to unmute. I guess I'm trying to connect with the theory of it. I guess I'm more in my head right now, but it feels more like I have a tool for, I guess, journaling. I think that would be an interesting way to journal through the emotions surrounding whatever things is on my mind. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Bianca.
I wasn't sure what word I wanted to use, but Anna, when she said hopeful, that resonated with me because I realized these are all things I don't do naturally. And I took pictures of the notes you guys put. Like, I'm gonna go back and really analyze the big things in my life that I do have issues with, and see how I can apply it. It's not easy. I'm happy to have discovered Spiralis. Honestly, it's life changing. It really is.
To bring you that okay,
yeah,
it's not easy, and yet it's possible. This.
It's possible. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Tim.
Yeah, the light bulb thing was really quite profound because it mourning the strategy, if that's what the key thing is, opposed to mourning the need. That was something that did bring some light to me. Thanks for getting there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tim. Valerie, what words would you like to share?
Connection and warmth.
Thank you.
And what is again the window? What is accueil là? In
welcome.
English?
Welcome or greeting.
Welcome of window. Window of welcome.
Window of welcome. Beautiful. My 3 words: connection, community, and sense making. I leave also with gratitude. Thank you, Stephanie, for your question. Thank you all for your participation, and please feel free to connect with me or join us for the next conference whenever that may be in the near future. I wish you a wonderful evening.